Hi guys, this is your host and host SUHAIL Mathur, best-selling author and co-founder of Bookmakers Literary Agency, and I welcome you to a brand new episode of Superstars with SUHAIL. And the superstar over here with us is a lady who dons multiple hats and each of them very effectively. She's a senior business journalist. She's written books ranging from thrillers to historicals to biographies to books for children, and all have been runaway bestsellers. And a very, very dear friend of mine. Ladies and gentlemen, pleased to introduce and welcome on our show the very dynamic and the lovely Debleena Majumdar. Debleena, welcome to Superstars with SUHAIL.
Thank you so much, SUHAIL, and wish the team all the very best and congratulations for the 10th year celebrations. Very honored and happy to be here.
Thank you. So it's our honor completely to have you on Superstars with SUHAIL, a show where the questions will be sharp and the responses hopefully sharper. So before we move ahead, I must let you know what our show is about. So we will be having 13 segments in this show, and before we commence, you only need to promise us three things. Number one, you will be fast and quick. Number two, you will be frank and honest. And number three, nothing that comes your way will shock you. So with those three things firmly in place, we will start our first segment. Our first segment, which is called Pehli Pehli Baar Hai. So Debleena, in our first segment, Pehli Pehli Baar Hai, what we'll be doing is that we'll be asking you your 5 firsts. Alright, and what you need to do is that you need to give me quick responses for it and also a little background to the answer so that our viewers can know what we are discussing. So without further ado, here is the first of your firsts. Your first crush.
My husband.
Your husband was your first crush? Safe answer. Alright, but obviously before marriage, right?
Yeah.
And so how long before marriage did you develop a crush on him? So I'm assuming you guys had a love marriage, right?
Yes, love marriage. I think about a year before.
Alright. That is wonderful.
It was all quite quick. Yeah.
No, it's great. I think a lot of people, usually say that, oh, it was my teacher or it was someone here or there or some neighbor, and those crushes don't eventually materialize. So I think what is good over here is to hear that, that materialized not only into a marriage but also a very successful marriage, and I mean, it's so nice and heartening to hear that. So
and 20 years of marriage.
Superb. So round of applause on that response. So the next question is your first salary and how did you spend it?
So my first salary was from the first job I got from campus, Lazard. It's a French investment bank. And I spent it, so I wanted to do something for my parents. So I basically got gifts for my parents and for my sister. And I spent it in quite a traditional way. I just went crazy buying gifts for them. But since I, was into finance, I also saved part of it.
Superb, and that's why you're doing finance books for children as well now. So, but what was the amount? What was the amount, and what was the year? So, if you could let us know that too.
The year was embarrassingly long back, when 2001, and the amount I don't remember exactly, but it was quite a decent amount. It was an investment bank, so they paid quite well.
Okay, a range maybe just for our audience to.
I don't remember exactly. I think the annual figure was something around 15 to 20 lakhs, but I don't remember exactly. I mean, the numbers I think quite long back. But I remember I just spent some stuff for my parents, and I saved some stuff also. I was in Delhi that time, living alone, so I saved.
Oh, nice. I wish you were in Delhi now, and I would meet you very often. But you are in Bangalore. Okay, so the next question is your first vehicle.
First vehicle. Yeah, so strangely both my husband and I don't drive. So our first vehicle we bought actually was together after marriage, a car which we never drove. So we had a driver.
Okay, but which car was it?
This was I'm very bad with car makes, but it was I think Alto. Yeah, Alto.
Alright. So I mean, I'm assuming that your husband says that you don't drive, but I was having a chat with him, a secret chat, and he was saying that she drives me mad. No, he didn't say that. I'm just joking.
I think we both do that to each other, and that's why we don't drive the car.
I'm just joking, but yes, I think that's the perfect combination, though, how it should be. But The next one is, Debleena, your first literary memory, something you associate with the world of literature, your earliest memory with respect to the world of literature.
That's interesting actually. I think it had to be reading. So my grandfather was a criminal lawyer. So every summer we used to actually go there and spend the summer there during our school years. He was a very famous criminal lawyer, and I remember he had this, like you have behind you, Suhail, he had like from the top to bottom books on all things, crime, law, history, a lot of different things. And I used to spend, and it was hot, so there were these green shutters which you would close down, and the room would be shrouded in almost near darkness, and everybody else would be downstairs talking and laughing and having fun, and I would be really in that room and devouring the books one by one. So I think that was my first memory of getting lost in the world.
I can envisage it. In the afternoons, putting the curtains down, reading in a room full of books. It would be absolutely smashing. And yes, I am also by profession a lawyer. So
yes.
So all these books are the ones that we've represented. I mean, all of them can't be seen, but they're below also, and these aren't all of them that we've represented, but a percentage of those. But yes, you rightly pointed out, and good observation, Debleena. So, which brings us to the last question from the first segment, which is, how did the idea of your first book with the book bakers germinate? So the first book that you did with us was Marketplace for Murder, and how did the idea for that book germinate?
Got it. So I think I have a lot to thank you, Suhail. As you know, I never considered myself an author. I came from a world of numbers. I was very good with numbers. I think the only things I wrote, were like sad limericks for my husband, and he complimented me on that. And then when my daughter was born, I used to, create stories for her. I think that's all, was my world of writing. And when I was in school, we had a group called Utopic 14, and we used to create some crazy plays. I think that was my world of creativity. Rest of it was all numbers. So for the longest time, I read a lot, but I never believed I could write. So I literally, felt I'm a writer in waiting, which is what my Instagram profile still is. And I think you were the first person, Suhail, who gave me the confidence that maybe I could actually create this into a book. So the idea of the book was there in my mind. So basically, I had been working for the long time in finance. And I know in finance, while you see a lot of ways to make money legitimately, there are also people who make money through ways which are not so savory. And I had in mind this character who was almost invisible and who could literally take away money from people by using means of cyber fraud. So that was a character, which I thought of. I could almost hear the voice in my mind. And that's why the book also has the first person voice of the unknown criminal appearing every few chapters. I think that's how the idea started. What would happen if identity is taken away from you, not just your body, but your digital identity. So that was the starting point of the germ of the idea. And then of course, as I thought through, there are other characters which shaped up. I brought in the character of the journalist, who would be solving it. Somebody like a modern day Miss Marple who would swap her knitting needles with, journalism, internet kind of tool for investigation. And since I love history and archaeology, I brought in her husband as the archaeologist, and other characters, which I've seen around me in a modern city like Bangalore, cosmopolitan city like Bangalore. So that's how the idea came up personally. But frankly, from idea to book, I think I was very far away. For the longest time, I didn't feel it was a book. I just felt it was an idea that I would stay with and think about, etc. I think you were the one who gave me confidence that it could be a book, and from there it actually, started.
Thank you. I think the whole premise of using the city as a character in itself, the city of Bangalore as a character, was very interesting. And then of course, I think it's a very pertinent topic that you chose, especially in the times of now AI coming into play and several things. So we are moving gradually into that direction even further. So a very timely book, and the book did really well. You would fall for it. There's a lot of literary festivals across the country. So great. And I think that was the starting of a great working equation with you, and we've done so many successful books together. So wonderful. And on that happy note, I'm pleased to tell you that we've completed our segment 1, and that brings us to segment 2, which is called the Rocking Rapid Fire. So now in the Rocking Rapid Fire, I'm going to ask you 10 questions, and you have to respond to it in a rocking and a rapid manner. So here goes. A movie you saw on the sly from your parents.
Actually, I didn't see many movies growing up. We had a family I'll tell you a very interesting twist to this. So our family, they were all teachers. My parents were teachers, and what we had in our homework books. So largely we read. We didn't really go out for some much movies. But my father was a very big fan of this action movies. Especially Western action movies. So I remember a very funny moment. I was very much into studies. I love studying, and I was quite wrapped in the world of studies. He wanted us to see Where Eagles Dare, and this is my father. And I remember my father coming to my tuition class, and me and my sister, and making up some elaborate concoction of a lie so that we could go and see Where Eagles Dare. So that was my funny movie. It was my father spiriting us away to see a movie, and me and my sister protesting and saying, no, we don't want to, we want to study. So he was the one who was into movies.
Nice. In fact, that's great. In fact, in this room, I even have a copy, have a VCD of Where Eagles Dare. So many years earlier, my mom had asked me to see it. So I did eventually see the movie.
Yeah.
So yes, great memories coming in. Second question is, an Indian male author or someone from the literary industry you find handsome?
Handsome. So I don't equate looks and writing somehow. Authors to me are
we don't need a
beyond gender.
philosophical answer. We don't need a philosophical answer. Come on.
Okay.
It's fine. You can tell.
Why not you, Suhail? You're also an author.
Yeah, I mean that's a safe answer. Okay, but I'll take it.
Yeah,
I'm always
safe answer. Yeah.
happy to take a compliment. All right. Commercial success or critical acclaim?
So I think for me, this is probably a little philosophical, but I feel writing for me is something I can't not do. It just has to be done. So, and once I finish writing, it's no longer in my hands. So I feel for me, it's the idea, and getting it into a shape which people probably will read is good enough. And either of the two, I think, whether it happens or not, frankly, it's beyond me at that point.
Okay.
So I think it's just writing. For me, it ends with that.
Okay. Book launches or lit fests?
Can I say neither? But I think of the two, Lit Fest probably. If there is a good panel to speak with. As you know, Suhail, I'm a confirmed introvert. And I love speaking when I have something to say. But I don't like speaking when I have nothing to say.
Okay. Who's hotter? Man in a suit or man in a swimming trunk?
Woman in a suit.
Yeah, that's not in the option.
Okay, so suit.
Okay.
But maybe Indian. Sherwani.
Okay, nice. An Indian actor you would like to date?
Okay, I'm far beyond my dating years. But I actually never dated. I mean, the only person I dated, I married. So I'm very much beyond the dating years. But yeah, I think there are a couple of people I think are very, very talented from Bengali movie industry. So there's more than one actually. I think it's a conglomeration of 4 Bengali actors who are very good. Yeah, so there is, I think, Anirban,
Abir.
I forget the last names.
Anirban Bhattacharya. Who's also, we also have an author by that name, but
yeah,
that
also
author
yeah.
is different. So Anirban
Correct.
is there. Abir.
So Anirban Bhattacharya, Abir Chatterjee and Toto Roy Chaudhary.
Okay, wonderful. So nice, a combination of all these 3. Would be
Combination of all this, yeah.
good. Okay, naughty or nice?
Naughty.
Okay, movies or web series?
Actually, yeah, web series, because you can take a choice, a much bigger choice, yeah.
An Indian book you wish you had written?
You can call it Indian, but yeah, Chitra Devakarani's, I think, book on Mahabharata, where she retold it from the point of view of Sita. Sorry, not Sita, Draupadi. Yeah.
Palace of Illusions.
Palace of Illusions. I just feel, and both of them, actually the one she wrote on Ramayana also, but especially the one she wrote on Mahabharata, which is from Draupadi's point of view. I just felt, I've never seen the voice of a character come out so strongly. So I think that I just really liked the way she did it.
Alright. Mind, body or soul? The aspect that impresses you the most?
I don't know if I understand all of it, but yeah, I think probably what you can understand more easily when you talk to people is mind, right? So mind.
Alright, wonderful. So some good answers over there, and that brings us to segment 3, which is called Poocho To Jaane. So now in Pucho To Jane, Debleena, what has happened is that one author from the Book Bakers agency has asked you a surprise question. So not only do you have to answer that question, once you've done that, you have to guess who asked you that question. And here is where you have a Three Idiots connotation to it. So I would be giving you three options to choose from. If you're able to answer in the first guess, you would be like Rancho, Amir Khan from Three Idiots, the topper of the class. If you answer in the second go, you are like Farhan, which was played by Madhavan. So he's somewhere in the middle. And if you answer in the last go, you are like Raju, played by Sharman Joshi. Not where you would like to be in terms of academics, and especially someone like you who's always into academics. So let's see where this one goes. But before you guess who's asked you the question, let me ask you the question in itself first. And your question is this: if you were a pizza delivery person, which superstar would you like to hand deliver the pizza to, and why?
Alive or dead?
The pizza.
Yeah.
You can give the dead pizza. limp.
Dead person.
Limp. Yeah, of course. You can give to anyone. You have that option. Yeah.
Yeah. So Agatha Christie.
Agatha Christie. All right. Wonderful.
And Sharadindu Chattopadhyay.
All right. So yeah, they are superstars in their own way, in their own field.
So my superstars are authors.
Authors.
Yeah,
absolutely.
my superstars are authors. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great. Okay, so basically, I think she'll, if you give her the pizza with a lot of toppings, she'll not really bite into the pizza. She'll eat the toppings first, and then she'll say, and then there were none. Right?
And then there were none, and then she'll check what could be a possible poison element from that topping.
Okay, so now you have to tell me who has asked you this question. And your three options are Rajesh Konsam, Moitri Bhaduri, or Rashima Verma.
I think many of them don't know me because I'm not very active. I think the only one probably who knows me is Rashima. So I'll guess Rashima.
And very, very happy to tell you that Rashima is indeed the wrong answer. So Rashima hasn't asked you that question. So either it's Moitri Bhaduri or it is Rajesh Konsam. So who's asked you that question?
Okay, so I'm inching towards, I think, Sharman. So I'll say Moitri.
Moitri. All right, you've said Moitri, and this time you are indeed correct. So Moitri had asked that question. Moitri asked it, so you are like.
And she also writes on crime. If I'm not wrong, she also writes on crime.
Yes, crime, history, all those things she writes on, and she's also from Bengal. So yes,
we have a natural tendency to veer towards this dark side.
So wonderful, and good job. Second guess is not too bad. So well done, and that brings me to segment 4, which is called Best and the Worst. So in Best and the Worst, I'm going to ask you a few of your favorite things and a few things that you completely detest. So here goes. Your favorite dish?
Favorite dish? It's aloo posto. It's a Bengali dish made from khaskhas seeds, poppy seeds.
Right. The yuckiest dish you've ever had?
Yuckiest dish. So, I'm not a very sweet person in the sense that I don't like desserts and sweet. So I had this dessert which was some kind of cream cake covered in cream and covered in a lot of sugar. And for many people it would be a dream cake, but for me it was yucky.
Okay. Your favorite film?
Favorite film? So I think I saw it again recently, so probably I would say Chiriyakhana, the one made by Sajid Ray on Sharadindu Chattopadhyay's movie. Yeah.
And the worst movie you've ever seen?
Worst movie? Okay, there'll be many contenders. Yeah, probably some of the Bollywood rom-coms where there's neither romance nor comedy.
Any one that's coming to your mind?
They all merge into one. I mean, they're so undifferentiated that you can't really watch it beyond a point.
Any one that's coming to your mind just for us?
Any one which comes to your mind? I think I tried watching this recent one, Jhoota Makka or something. Yeah,
मैं मक्कार.
yeah, that one. Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Your favorite song?
I love singing. Like
Yeah,
I've grown up learning
Yeah.
classical music. So I think favorite song probably is this. There's a song called Savan Beeto Jaye Rehna. That one.
Yeah.
And I think all these Sufi songs, lot of
By fusion, right?
fusion, lot of Sufi songs. I
Mora
love.
Piya Mose Bolega
Yeah.
basis.
Yeah, that one. Then Sufi songs, lot of Sufi songs.
Nice. A hit or a popular song that you didn't like or don't like?
Okay. I think the song from Brahmastra. There was a recent song from the movie Brahmastra.
Kesariya.
So yeah, Kesariya. I didn't like it much.
Okay, fair enough. Your least favorite actor?
Okay. So Salman Khan.
Okay. The worst movie of your least favorite actor?
I haven't seen, because he's the least favorite actor. I haven't seen many movies.
Okay,
But I
fair
can
enough.
see the one which I like the most of the list. So I think there was a movie long time back called Hum Dil De Chuke Sanam,
Yeah.
which was based on a book actually. That was a good movie, I felt.
Yeah, that was fine.
And I wish he had acted more in movies like that. So that was a good movie.
True. The best thing about your spouse?
So he lets me be me. He lets me be who I am.
Okay, that's very nice. That's very important too.
He never tried to change me.
Nice.
He knew you couldn't probably, that's why.
A thing you would want to improve in your spouse?
In my spouse, okay, he stopped reading fiction. I keep telling him that.
Yeah.
So he tries very hard. Yeah, I think probably a reason why I'm also moving more towards non-fiction. But yeah, he stopped reading fiction.
Okay, fair enough. So that brings an end to segment 4 and takes us closer to segment 5, which is called Dimag Ka Dahi. So now in Dimag Ka Dahi, what we'll be doing, Debleena, is I'll be asking you a brain teaser or two, depending on my mood. And it's fairly simple, you need to just respond to it. So nothing major. So without further ado, here is your question. Now, Eskimos are extremely skilled hunters, yet they never kill penguins. Why?
Okay, I don't know.
Because one is found in the North Pole and the other in the South Pole.
South Polo. Got it.
So
We're poles apart.
they are poles apart indeed. Okay. I'll ask you one more question then, since this was a short one. So a plane crashed on the India-Pakistan border. On which side of the border would you bury the survivors? A plane crashed on the India-Pakistan border. On which side of the border would you bury the survivors?
You will not bury the survivors anyway.
That is correct. So finally you've got one, and well done. You can clap for yourself, and that is the right answer. So two very interesting questions, which bring us to an equally interesting segment 6, which is called Never Have I Ever. So in Never Have I Ever, you know the drill. What you need to just do over here is that you need to show us your 10 fingers, and I'll be asking you 10 questions. So with everything that you've done, just put a finger down. And in case you haven't done that, let me know and I'll move to the next question. Alright? So you can show us your 10 fingers, please. And yes, we can see it now. And we start. So never have I ever stolen in a shop. No, you haven't, right? Yeah, so you can see it. I'll move to the next one.
Yeah.
Beaten someone from the opposite gender.
No.
Kissed someone from the same gender.
No.
Okay. Made an excuse to not pay the restaurant bill.
No.
Okay. Stalked the profile of an ex.
I don't have any ex, so no.
Have no ex. Exactly. Got drunk at a party.
I don't drink. This is going to come out boring. I never drink only. I drink tea. So if tea counts, then
I know.
have
I also don't drink, so it's fine. Had naughty thoughts about an office colleague.
No.
Kissed in public.
Yeah. To my husband, yeah.
1. Finally, 1. Okay. Used a pickup line to impress someone.
No.
Okay. And the last one is lied about your actual location to someone.
Lied about actual location to someone. No.
Okay, well done. 10 on 100, that's 1 on 10. So 10% of things you've done. I leave it to the audience to decide whether it's interesting or not. So morally, of course, it's great. And fun-wise, I leave it to everyone to interpret. Probably my responses would also be largely similar to yours, but probably I'd get like a couple of more answers in. But I haven't actually given it a thought, but some of your responses did resonate with me. So 1 on 10 is not the ideal response, but nonetheless, it is the correct response. And that brings us to my favorite segment, which is segment 7, which is called Main Hoon Kaun. So now, Debleena and Main Hoon Kaun, I will be asking you about a particular personality, and I'll be giving you 3 clues about that personality. If you're able to answer in the first or the second clue, you receive a benefit or a lifeline for one of the future rounds. If you, however, give a wrong answer, you also receive a penalty for the future round. Alright? If you don't know the answer, if you don't know the answer via that clue, you can tell me to pass and I'll go to the next clue. And of course, in the third chance, you can take a guess and respond. There are no penalties, but there are no benefits either. So, the personality for you is this. A first generation politician. I won my first election at the age of just 27 and eventually went on to hold the second most powerful political rank in my state.
I don't follow politics at all. Can I skip the question?
No, but maybe you were able to answer when we give you more clues. So you don't know right now. You'll pass. I'm assuming you're passing. Okay.
Yeah.
My brother, who is also in the same field as me, and I come from a clan which is believed to have held high administrative positions in the mighty Vijayanagar Empire.
Okay. Still no.
Okay. The last one is my daughter has been married to the eldest son of a business baron on whom a TBB author recently published a book on with Penguin India. My daughter has been married to the eldest son of a business baron on whom a TBB author recently published a book on with Penguin India.
Okay. No, this should have been easier to guess, but no, I don't know.
You want to take a wild guess? Now you can take a wild guess.
Yeah, but I think since I don't follow politics, even wild guesses won't work.
Okay, so the answer is DK Shiv Kumar. Alright.
Okay.
So DK
I couldn't have got it.
Yes, so very topical. You are in Bangalore.
This is a question for my husband. He follows everything in politics and I stay completely away. Yeah. I only go to vote.
So because your first book had Bangalore as such a major city in the story, so we thought we'll ask you a question from Bangalore, very relevant, very pertinent question. DK Shiv Kumar has just been sworn in as the 9th Deputy Chief Minister. So whenever this is aired, people will get to know how long back we had recorded this, because he's been sworn in like a couple of days back.
Yeah, just sworn in.
This will be aired much later. But fair enough, moving to segment 8, which is also a very interesting segment, and it's called Picture Abhi Baki Hai Mere Dost. So Debleena and Picture Abhi Baki Hai Mere Dost, what we do is that we ask our authors to choose their dream cast. So my question to you is that if we were to turn a marketplace for murder into a movie, what would your cast be? Who would you cast as the journalist? Who would you cast as the cyber criminal? And who would you cast as the journalist's archaeologist husband?
This is easy because I had thought about this. So Konkana Sen Sharma as a journalist, and as the husband, one of the 3 people I mentioned earlier, which is either Tota or Abir or Anirban Rai Chaudhary, one of the 3. And as the cyber criminal, um, yeah, probably Nawazuddin Shariki, Nawazuddin,
Okay, fair enough, fair
because he's
enough.
a brilliant actor.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's a good cast. It's a good cast that you have. And the only thing is that in our world, things work a little differently. So what I've done is that I've created these two boxes of chits. One has names of actors, one has names of actresses. And what we'd be doing is that I'd be swirling them. And you have to choose one. Alright, you have to choose. I'll actually be taking out three chits per character, and you have to choose one out of those three, and then let's see what is the cast that you eventually end up getting. So these are all names from Bollywood. All right. So
Okay. And this is still Marketplace for Murder, right? That
this is
one.
still Marketplace for Murder. So first let's do it for the lady first. Let's do it for our protagonist, the journalist. You let me know when you'd want me to stop.
Yeah, we can stop.
Okay. So let's pick up three. That's one. That is two. And that is three. So 1, 2, 3. Which number do you want? 1, 2, 3.
3.
Okay. So we put 1 back. We put 3 back. And we have 1. We'll see who it is later on. Now for the cyber criminal.
Yeah, we can stop now.
Take out 1. Take out 2. And we take out 3. So 1, 2, 3. Which one?
1.
Okay.
1.
Alright. Now let me swirl it again. This is for the husband.
Yeah, we can stop now.
That is 1. That is 2. And that is 3. So which out of the 3?
3. 3 again.
Okay. So we have the cast in place now. Okay. Interesting. Okay. So it's a good cast, but it's an interesting cast. So the role of the husband would be played by Ranbir Kapoor. Okay. The role of the husband would be played by Ranbir Kapoor. The role of the cyber criminal would be played by Shah Rukh Khan. And the role of the journalist would be played by Poonam Pandey. So, Poonam Pandey, Shah Rukh Khan and Ranbir Kapoor. I think the film will still be a hit because you have Shah Rukh and Ranbir in it. So I
We
think
have Shah Rukh Khan, yeah. And I
So
think he could do a very good job of that role. Yeah.
yes, so well done, and that's great. Which brings us to segment 9, which is called "What Would You Do?" So I'll be asking you 10 questions, and you have to tell me what would you do if you woke up as Rakhi Sawant.
I would make a movie
On
myself.
okay. If Urfi Javed
Being
was
Rakhi
your,
Sawant.
okay. If Urfi Javed was your fashion designer.
I would fire her.
Okay. If you became the prime minister for a day.
I would make sure everybody reads for a day and there are no parties for a day.
If Sunny Leone approached you to act as you in your biopic, what would you do?
I would act as me.
You would?
If it is me, yeah, I would act. Yeah.
No, if Sunny Leone approached you to act as you in your biopic, what would you tell her?
Yeah, I accept.
Okay. If you had the power of invisibility,
Where would I go?
what would you do? Yeah.
So I would go to, I would actually visit all these authors, some of them dead, and I would sit with them while they wrote their first drafts and see what made them write. So I would go and visit, Charles Dickens when he wrote Tale of Two Cities and find out how he wrote those characters. I would visit Agatha Christie through all her writing and figure out how she figured, the way of committing the different murders. I would visit Shardindu and figure out how he wrote historical fiction. Margaret Atwood, I would visit. So I think, yeah, I would just visit my authors.
Nice.
The authors who I read about, I would visit them, yeah.
Okay, if your cell phone fell into the toilet.
It's happened. This has actually happened to me. I'm very clumsy. I keep dropping things. Like in the beginning, you mentioned I, manage many hats. And in real life, I keep dropping, multiple things. So I've dropped my cell phone in a toilet.
And we are assuming that you did take it out, right?
I did take it out. I washed it and it didn't work. So it was finally trashed.
Oh. So it was already wet. No, you didn't have to wash it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right. So, if God came in front of you,
I would say, why come so late?
Okay. If you were swimming and someone stole your clothes,
I wouldn't be swimming.
if you are already swimming and someone's taken the clothes, that's the situation. What would you do then?
I'll keep swimming. I'll be like Dory, keep swimming.
Okay. If you found yourself inside the big boss house,
Oh, I would write a book.
eventually about your experiences over there. All right.
Yeah.
If someone changed your gender, what would you do?
I would be fine. I would do the same thing, but with a new gender.
Use a new gender. Oh, that's the attitude to have. So great. Some very interesting responses, very frank responses coming our way. All right, Debleena, that brings us to segment 10, which is called What Next?
Yes.
So in What Next, you need to just tell us what are you currently working on and what next could the readers expect from you? Very briefly.
So, two things. What next? One is, I think, both with you. One is with a follow-up on the 1700s Bengals. I wrote Trial of the Maharaja, which was about a legal case, and this one is about two of the characters in that setting who had a very, very interesting interlude. So that's
Correct.
coming next. And the other one is the children's finance book, which I've written, but it'll probably get published sometime this year.
Super. Well, I've read both and I think they're absolutely fantastic and everyone will love reading, these two books. So fingers crossed. I'm looking forward to some new stories from you as well as time proceeds. And which brings me to segment 11, which is called Joke Time. So Debleena, as Joke Time mentions, you have to either tell us a joke or you have to narrate a funny anecdote from your life, whichever one you may want to do. So please go ahead.
Okay, so I'll go with the funny anecdote from my life.
Okay.
And it goes back to the fact, what I mentioned, that I'm super clumsy. So this is the first day of college, Presidency College, Calcutta. So huge doors, huge campus and very old, campus, right? So I was trying to find my classroom and I was running. And as you know, I'm clumsy, so I'd already fallen on the steps. And then it was my day for falling. And I went into the classroom and it was just starting. I think I'd already started. The doors were closed, huge wooden doors, which were quite tough to open. So I somehow pushed through and I literally went flying into the classroom. And I sat down in the middle, where the teacher was, sat in the middle of the floor. And my batchmates, the people who were in stats department, statistics department, they just refused to even look at me. They're like, we don't know this person. She's not our batchmate. And that was my introduction to a subject I loved, which is math in college.
Yeah, you should have just told them, sir, I've been floored by your teaching. Should have just told them.
Floored, yeah, and completely grounded, yeah.
Completely grounded. I'm a completely grounded personality and I've been floored by, whatever you teach. Yeah, interesting. That is interesting. I can envisage that. So very interesting. Okay, and that brings us to the next segment, which is the penultimate segment, which is segment 12, Zabaan Sambhal Ke. So now in Zabaan Sambhal Ke Debleena, I have 6 tongue twisters and you have to choose 1 to 6, any number, and I will give you a tongue twister. You have to say it 10 times, but at least 5 times, if not 10. Okay? So please choose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Which one would you like to take?
6.
Okay. Seems to be a hot favorite with a lot of people. Everyone goes for 6. Okay. So it is rules in Hindi are called as niyam. Niyam, right? Niyam, Niyam. So your tongue twister is Lenium, Denium, Lenium. Made it easy for you. So Lenium, Denium, Lenium. Come on, 5 times at least, if not 10. Fast.
Lenium, Denium, Denium.
No.
Lenium, Denium.
Lenium.
Got it. Lenium, Denium, Lenium. Lenium,
Fast.
Denium. Lenium, Denium, Lenium. 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 Lenium, Denium, Lenium.
Wonderful. Yay! You can clap again for yourself. Well done. Because you did it 10 times. Very good, Debleena. That's interesting. And that brings me to the final segment which is called TBB Shoutout. So Debleena, in segment 13, TBB Shoutout, you just need to tell us how has your experience been working with the bookmakers and what do you make out of our chat show Superstars with SUHAIL?
So I think for me, SUHAIL, I think like I mentioned, I wasn't a born writer, neither did I consider myself a writer. I came from a world of numbers and I was very comfortable, all my work has been with numbers. So just from that position to actually consider myself a legitimate writer was a huge step for me. I had a lot of stories, a lot of ideas, even now I have, and I write very fast. But I think considering myself a legitimate writer and considering myself in the cloak of the superheroes I always, kind of worshipped was a very tough task. And that is a journey which, bookmakers and you personally, SUHAIL, helped me overcome. So I think for me, it's been like a lifelong debt of gratitude, which I'll never be able to repay, is what I always feel. So I think you made me believe in myself first, and then you believed in my books. And I think also, I think to have someone to speak with regarding ideas and, making sure that you are progressing and closing things. Otherwise, I love research so much, I can keep researching and never submit the book. So I think in all those ways, I think the bookmakers has been very, very helpful to me. And I think even understanding who I am as a writer, a lot of authors today are also, influencers and very good in social media.
Yeah.
I am not. I prefer to just write. I can speak on the topics and therefore going to LitFest and all are fine, but I'm not a social media friendly person at all. So giving me that space to be myself and to be authentic, I think also has been a huge help, which you've been able to, nurture and inculcate. In terms of, I think this particular show, I think what I really loved is the thought you have put in the format. So it is about books, but it's also funny, it's also irreverent, which also I think reflects on your personality. So I think, and just the thinking behind it every time is good fun. I think I just came back from a long travel yesterday night. So this was a good way to rewind and get back into work. So really, really appreciate the thought and the time you've spent in thinking through and designing this. And I think this is why probably you make Bookmakers such an interesting place to be in.
Thank you so much. No, I wanted to do something, which was fun, which was very different, and gave opportunities to authors to explore different facets of their personalities and bring those facets in front of their readers. Because otherwise, most of the questions, you usually come across are very serious book-related questions. Now we already know about those, and most of our authors are doing interviews day in, day out, being featured by the media, going for literary festivals. So I just thought bring out a new facet, and that helps, So I think a lot of your readers will get to know a lot of new things about you, and as have I. I think it's been very great. It's been a very candid interview, right? So you were forthcoming on all the things that we asked, and that is the hallmark of a great interview. So thank you so much for being part of this, and we look forward to collaborate on several more books in the future. And I'd like to also thank our viewers who've seen our show, and I'm sure you would have enjoyed this. So I would be back very soon next week on another episode of Superstars with SUHAIL with another superstar. But till then, this is SUHAIL Mathur and Debleena Majumdar signing off. Take care. Cheers.
Thank you so much, SUHAIL, and the real superstar I think is you in this whole thing. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Cheers. Bye-bye.